Okay, today I'm listening to an older Arvo Pärt piece. It's a bit of a deep cut. It's this piece called Credo from 1968, and it's a very strange one as far as I remember. I haven't heard this since back in my master's. It quotes the Prelude in C major, strangely, and I think there's like some more dissonant, like atonal stuff further along. This is before his minimalist period, and I think it's, if you're trying to get a sense of the composer as a whole, like as a whole body of work and as a person, you do have to get to know this period of his composing as well. I do have one episode on Pärt's music already. I think we covered Fratres, the violin and piano version, episode number below. If you'd like to get Pärt's bio and some of his accomplishments, I list them there. I'm going to just pull up a little bit more context for this piece if I can, because I don't have any front matter on the score. So yeah, it's a 12-minute piece. Arvo Pärt is an Estonian composer. This premiere was in Tallinn, Estonia. And yeah, it has like a whole bunch of different things collaged together, right? You got dodecaphonic music, which is 12-tone music, aleatoric music, which is like music that has some chants like going on in the performance, like some things are left up to chance. I don't see that quite yet in the score. It might be somewhere towards the end, but and it also has sonorism, which I guess is a Polish. Okay, so it's focused on timbre, and it's just this strange little Polish movement that is experimental. I guess it is. Yeah, I guess this is the word to describe like Penderecki's style that is free from serialism, like his sort of experimental style. So that's kind of an interesting connection that this, whoever wrote this Wikipedia article made. There's like this sort of parallel between Polish composers like Penderecki and Górecki, who went into the sacred minimalism world after a more experimental phase, and Pärt is Estonian, but it's kind of like a similar thing. Yeah, Estonia, as you may know, was part of the Soviet Union, but on the most western side, you could say, So it's in a unique geographical position and political position, and this piece, Credo, was banned in the Soviet Union after it was premiered, and that could also be why it's a lesser-known piece of his. The instrumentation for it, if we look at the left-hand column, it looks like it's 4, 2, 4, 4, 4, and then 4 horns, so 4, 0, 0, 0, timpani, SATB choir, looks like there's some divisi, so maybe at least 2 to a part, and then strings. And we do get 4 trumpets and 3 trombones. Oh, there is tuba, yeah. So the brass is actually 4-4-3-1. So it's a big orchestra by any definition. So the 2 of the flautists are on piccolo, it looks like. And there's 2 clarinetists on bass in B flat, and then 2 on just regular B flat. And there's 2 bassoonists on contra, which is kind of interesting. So by all means, pretty expensive. Also, one of the trombones is bass trombone. The trumpets are in B flat, which is kind of weird. But there you go. I think I'm just going to jump right into this one. I don't remember it clearly enough to say anything more about it. So we're just going to have a quick listen, and I'm going to record my immediate thoughts, and hopefully we can get through this in like half an hour altogether. So please join me. The video or sound recording that I'm listening to is in the description to this video. And if this is your first time watching, the transition into the post-listening section is a bit fast, so just be ready to pause. Okay, yeah, so this was an interesting listen. I think that you can hear a lot of the composer's later works in this piece. It's not strictly like dodecaphonic or how would you say it, or sonorist. I think it's actually just a very weird like collage piece, and I think it could work really well actually as like an introduction to contemporary music. You know, like the first thing your students hear in university, because obviously people come to those types of courses from a classical background, and everybody knows this Bach. The structure is like the first and last third of the piece, really, and certainly influences a lot of the more dissonant stuff as well. And yeah, I guess sort of the way that this piece is designed, it's clear that Pärt is trying to go from like what in his mind is the most like beautiful, simple, clear music to like the most chaotic, cacophonous, like aleatoric stuff, right? And he does a very good job of getting from that first place to the other place, and that's sort of the journey that the music takes you on. But it's also very calculated, and you can really see it in the score, how things are speeding up and distorted rhythmically, and there's no like actual accelerandi or decelerandi. It's all done with note values, which is kind of interesting. There's also this interesting like interplay of the solo piano, and which obviously is where the Bach is from, solo keyboard. Then the choir, which is often like other composers have adapted the prelude for piano and choir, right? So the choir is like a whole other thing. Then there's this text, which is a credo, which is very strange. Like it's unclear how that's connected to the Bach. And then you have a full orchestra as well, right? So how do you negotiate that? It's like the orchestra is so much bigger than the choir, which is so much bigger than the soloist, and it's just a very interesting like amalgamation of like cultural objects, kind of like another collage piece we looked at weeks and weeks ago. We looked at this John Zorn piece, which also used instruments stereotypically, and it was like a chamber orchestra piece. That's another example of like the genre, the like type of ensemble, it is tailored to the piece. Like, this is one of those pieces, I would say. There are a couple percussionists. I think there's two percussions playing at the same time at one point, triangle and tambourine. But you might be able to negotiate this with just one percussionist. There's also bass drum and snare drum, and I think I heard some cymbal crashes. And obviously piano is a big feature of the piece. I don't know if I mentioned that in the instrumentation list. But yeah, that's Credo. Really cool piece. And very accessible piece.